you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivered this deep six.
Good evening. This is the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast, bringing you episode 147.
Oh, no, we're doing 4 and 3 because I'm a big Trey Palomalu fan.
Hey, guess what? This is our 6th anniversary, Brandon.
Really?
This is the 6th anniversary of the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast.
So you started right after COVID, was inside doing nothing but talking on the screen. I like it.
Yes. Yes, that's how we were birthed. The Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast is COVID babies.
I mean, hey, they had a screen audience when they first came back, so were you ever one of the screens?
No, but I heard Chris Benoit was.
Oh, I do remember the lore of that. Yeah, somebody put the picture up of him.
I am joined today by Brandon, a.k.a. Bash. Mr. Bash, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. It is Tuesday, 10:05 Eastern Time, and we are going to cover Raw and some other headlines that we have for you guys from over the last 24 hours or so. How you doing? How was your Easter weekend?
We're good. It was good. I worked my MMA event. Met a bunch of the fighters. I ended up helping with gloves and everything. So it was pretty good. And now, as long as Aaron Judge makes a catch in the outfield, the Yankees win 5-3. And as I've spoken a few times on my betting, I saw that they were plus 420 in the bottom of in mid-8th. I was like, that's strange. They still have 2 more innings. They're only down 2. That's a big number against the A's, who suck. Rosario hit a 3-run home run. The Yankees just win, and I won $100. So we're doing good, my man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm coming off of finally what feels like the first Boston Red Sox win in like a week, practically. The Red Sox are now 3-8. They won 3-2. Garrett Crochet holding it down.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have asked, how did you get into the Red Sox?
Well, it's in my blood. My mom was from Boston, and
Right.
She grew up there. And then the first time I visited Boston was around 2002, 2003, and I just fell in love with the city. I fell in love with everything over there. I'm surprised I didn't move there. I've thought about moving there, but not anytime recently though. But I've thought about it. But I go up there a lot.
The snow is brutal up there. That's the only thing that
Believe it or not, I've never been up. I've been up there in the middle of January. Let me tell you, it is brutal. It is brutal. Like, cold that is not like over here. But I have never been up there, never gotten caught around snow or anything like that. I've been up there maybe 2, no more than 3 times in the month of January over the last, 20 years or so. Mm-hmm. So, I usually, baseball season's not, there's really nothing going on up there in Boston in the month of January, just to be honest, unless it's a big WWE show.
True. I went up there a few times. I got an aunt and a cousin up there. So we've gone in December during winter break and everything. And I think we got not really trapped up there, but we were there a couple extra days because it had snowed like a foot. And that was pretty cool to experience kind of winter up there. But yeah, like I said, it was definitely December. But I don't want to deal with that ever.
Their cold weather is absolutely brutal. Even the 5 layers that I had on that one time that I went, my first time there actually, it was 5 degrees. The wind chill was well below 0. I've never felt cold like that in my life. It was something I'll never forget. Like, it just goes right through you. But
this winter's cold definitely made me a new fear of cold because it was crazy. My Oswego winters were bad. That was the first real fear of snow. And then this winter is bad.
This winter was pretty bad, but I definitely dealt with a lot worse. But that first weekend of February that we had in the winter over here on Long Island was very bad. 2 degrees, 3 degrees the following day, and that was a bad weekend. That was the first weekend of February. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I do remember that. That was bad. The snow and everything.
But we got some stuff to talk about tonight.
Absolutely.
We got some stuff to talk about. Let's dive right in. I'll let you steer the wheel for the most part with the CM Punk promo. But there was this one line that I really enjoyed that popped me was about CM Punk talking about the ticket prices. Basically he buried Vince McMahon, he buried
Hmm.
TKO, he buried Pat McAfee, and he even buried The Rock.
Yes.
But the ticket prices, like, he just threw everybody under the bus, and I'm sure that this was all approved beforehand. But let me tell you what a promo that was. So, Brandon, take us through some of the highlights of this first segment.
Absolutely. Um. So basically says that Houston is a wrestling city, which I absolutely agree. The crowd was crazy tonight,
They
but
have a good wrestling history for sure.
and he said, oh, something was really cool. He said, "Dreams are stories we tell ourselves while we're asleep, but I'm awake right now." I was like, I love that. I've never heard anyone say that. Um, but yeah, basically, he said that Roman isn't here tonight. And 2 weeks ago, with help, he put me through the announce table. I showed up the next week by myself, got my receipt, and put Roman through that same table. And he also basically called a little bit of Roman out and said, "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be because of guys like him. Being hated by losers is the price I pay for not being one of them." That's This man is just dropping bars that like crazy. He says, "I'm old, not weak. I showed up and I'm an old man." And here's why I hate Roman Reigns. This was big. We both have tools. My tools are self made through years of self belief, but yours are hand bought and plastic. I was like, wow. I was like, okay then. Um, and then basically he goes on to say, like you said about The Rock, of if you show up, it's late and you leave early, like you're The Rock. At least he was a Hollywood superstar, or at least he is a Hollywood superstar, or sorry, was, to a big crowd pop. So calling out The Rock. Um, what else was there? Just like you were, sorry. Oh, this was a good one too. I don't surround myself with everyone or like you or have a job from my dad because I sucked at football. Called him a buck, and then called out Vince McMahon, as you said. You're a buck-toothed nepo baby who ate dog food for a weird old man.
I
Line after line. Um,
remember
that
that. That was on
yes,
SmackDown.
yep. And he said, like, if you want a pipe bomb like this is what you're gonna get. They can't control me. That's why you hate me, is because you can't control me. And last one, he really said, if anyone sucked as bad as you were with as many opportunities, they'd be fired and blackballed. But you can't blackball me. And then yes, he did call out Pac McAfee. Said you can't run your mouth here. Call your agent and tell them to lower the ticket prices. Pat also got a receipt coming, and that was really it. So yeah, like you said, he called out everybody, and he just had line after line, bar after bar. So we'll see if Roman does believe in the sticks and stones, or if he goes right at it.
Yeah, so this was the best promo that we have seen between in this feud, in this build to WrestleMania. This is definitely the best promo for sure. Um, but I feel like this feud between Roman and CM Punk is really nothing but like a rap battle.
Hmm.
They're going back and forth cutting promos. and and then they had their table interaction last week where CM Punk put Roman through, and the week before that Roman put CM Punk through, and I get that, and that was fine. But we I feel like this feud is lacking some substance. Like, we haven't seen any backstage stuff with these guys. We haven't seen Roman in the match. We haven't seen CM Punk in a match. Like, it's almost as if like they're being protected so like they don't get injured before WrestleMania. And
Because one's an old man and one has or had
literally,
cancer.
so I feel like, I mean, other than the promos that we've been getting, which have been stellar, we really haven't had a whole lot of substance leading up to WrestleMania, which I can't believe WrestleMania is in. Oh, what are we, like 11 days out? Yeah, 11 days out.
Mm-hmm.
I leave for Vegas in about 8 days, so that's actually next Wednesday. It is all coming quick. So we're not going to discuss every single thing about Raw, but we want to hit up some points tonight. But getting back to Punk and Roman Reigns, and we're going to go over the card a little bit earlier, but it was announced that Roman versus Punk will be night number 2, main event. So we got that announcement on Get Up today. So that's happening.
That is what we love to see.
We will swing back to that at some point. But what I want to cover now is the stuff that we saw with JD versus Finn Balor and Judgment Day. There was some pretty interesting stuff with Judgment Day last night. And some the IWC was going wild, which we'll catch. We'll talk about in a second. But we see JD versus Finn Balor. We see Dominic jump Finn from behind. Dominic hits Finn with his AAA Mega Championship title belt, followed by a brutal chair shot with the chair. The match gets thrown out. JD versus Finn Balor, it doesn't even happen. So this is just a segment that was built to set Finn Balor to get jumped from behind by Dominic. Before we go much into more into Judgment Day, what did you think about this segment that happened on Raw?
I was again. I'm not really surprised with anything going on here. Like they're just story building their way to WrestleMania, which is fine. Um, yeah, you don't. I didn't expect the match yet either. Like I figured it would be, if anything, a 2 minute nothing, and then somebody would come out. But it was more a 2 second entrance, and then he was attacked. So I figured it would happen.
So check this out. Later on Raw, I would say probably like between the 9:30 and 10 o'clock hour, we see Judgment Day backstage.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried. Dominic specifically is worried about what Finn Balor had said in his promo about Dominic only knowing one side of Finn Balor. So this was Finn Balor had earlier in the night had a promo. It was a vignette, and Finn Balor was saying, "You only to Dominic, you only know one side of me."
Right.
A total hint that quite possibly we are getting the demon Finn Balor.
I mean, the time to bring it is now. Has he had another persona before, or has he only been the demon?
He's only been a demon.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only been the demon, and he's dressed up in different various costumes, but he's only been the demon.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, so this is happening. They hinted to that, blatantly obvious, so we know that's coming. But the other thing that we wanted to talk about with Judgment Day is, did you see that segment with Liv Morgan?
Yes.
Take us through that. What did you think of that?
So this first, I'll do a little 1A, but this first kind of got referenced because there was a video of Vicur, and Vicur is mad and says that basically she only runs her mouth better than she claims she runs Raw, and that basically Bakura is here to inspire others. And it's apparently it's on site where Liv is from. Well, she's not going to see this one coming. I was like, love that. So they alluded to something going on. Now you said in the back, uh, Liv asked Raquel to peace on out after the boys left, and then goes, "Hey, Roxanne, how are you doing?" And Roxanne says, "Look," before she can answer, Vaquera attacks both of them. So that was a setup into the Roxanne and Liv, and then also, like you said, Liv had said, "Hey, we brought Seth." I can't speak today. I'm so sorry. Finn brought you in, and we had to take care of business. So how are you doing? How do you feel? That's when she wasn't able to answer because she was attacked by Vicaire. So very strange dynamic setting around that whole thing.
Yeah, it's like it was about a serious conversation that Liv and Roxanne were about to have there.
Mm-hmm.
But have you, no pun intended, have you heard about or seen the aftermath of all
No.
this? Okay, so Liv Morgan apparently, again, the IWC was going wild on Facebook and Instagram. Liv Morgan apparently bumped into Roxanne's head very hard. And then Stephanie Vaquer took Liv and threw her head first into the TV. The TV
Yeah.
was done. Rumors are swirling that both Liv Morgan and Roxanne are in concussion protocol, and that their women's match between Liv and Stephanie Vaquer is in jeopardy. Again, these are rumors, have not been confirmed. I have not looked at any wrestling news today to see further confirmation on it, but this is just to throw it out there. This is just what the IWC is saying.
And this is sometimes why you need to protect your fighters, because you have your co-main event now in jeopardy because she got thrown through a TV. And yes, I did now see what you were
And
referencing.
then Liv Morgan had the big bump on her head.
Looks like a freaking unicorn.
What a noggin.
Like, looks like she could be the unicorn from the New Day.
Oh man, I don't even know how that, like, such a bump like that is possible, but
I will say again, I've been watching UFC for close to a decade now. There are some very possible bumps that can happen. And that was just not even from a fight. That was from, well, I mean, yeah, it depends how they. Now, that was probably from being thrown into the TV. She should have gotten her hands up in time and most certainly did not.
Yeah, if you watch that video back, you can hear the smack. It's pretty legit.
I don't like that.
We're not going to talk too much about this, but Austin Theory gets the cheap win over LA Knight. There was a lot of interference, and actually, ISO Speed had a really, really good move where he jumped over LA Knight in the ring entrance ramp area.
Mm-hmm.
But Knight gets his hands on Speed, but then Logan Paul gets on the apron, but he ends up getting knocked down by Knight. Theory rolls up Knight for the win. Speed escapes. Knight demands Pierce to come out, and then we see Knight challenge Division and ISO Speed to take on him and the Usos. Adam Pierce comes out, approves the match. So, we're going to see a 6-man match. Unfortunately, I got to sit through that because I got to keep my eyes on every single match, especially if I'm doing a post-show that night. So, I have the lovely pleasure of watching LA Knight and Usos against Division and ISO Speed, and I am honestly not too crazy about it.
You're missing one person that will be a vital and important role in that feud for no other reason than it's going to be funny. You are Danhausen.
Yes. So
he will absolutely, because he was in the back. He was in the back, and then Speed said, "Yo, you got to lift the curse." He said, I can uncurse you if I get a mention. And basically, Danhausen is gone. After Adam Pierce says, yo, you got to help me. So, or no, he says to Adam Pierce, you got to help me. And then Danhausen's just gone, which, again, funny, great, got his little airtime. But yes, I hope Danhausen plays some type of role in that match.
So you think he comes out at Mania, unlifts the curse, and then ISO speed and division get the win?
Yes,
That'd be great.
something about it. Yes, like he'll start doing like a YouTube live or something. Like there'll just be something dumb, or Danhausen will be the reason that they lose because the Usos. I still think the Usos deserve the belts back. I don't think division. I think they got it. They're not going to do anything with it.
I
It's
think I want to give the benefit of the doubt for this reason because we talked about it for weeks prior to this coming up is that the only way to keep division significant until Bronson and Braun come back is and the way to keep them relevant is just to keep the tag belts on them for get them the tag belts and keep it on them for a while, at least up until summer. But
yeah, fair.
so this was the one solution. This is the only solution I had for the division, and WWE ran with it. So they must have been listening to our podcast. It's very possible. We do post this on Busted Open's Facebook page, so you never know who is
Who's watching?
listening.
Who's
You never
watching? Who's
know.
listening?
You never know. So, then later on, we're gonna skip around a little bit because there are very, very specific things that I want to talk about. But we get the AJ Lee interview. She's about to have a sit down with Michael Cole, and long and behold, Becky Lynch comes in. So now, all of a sudden, not even advertised, but I'll take it. We have Becky Lynch and AJ Lee sitting face to face across from each other. Becky says, you won't have home field advantage because WrestleMania is my home. Becky also says, then AJ says, you know what? I'm very proud of you, Becky, of all the things that you have done, of all the things that happened, all the things you've accomplished when I wasn't here. Um, but, the fans never forgot me. And AJ Lee goes on to say, when you tuck your little girl in tonight and ask her who her favorite wrestler is, your daughter is gonna say AJ Lee, and that popped me. I thought that was a really good pump line, a really good line to kind of just end the segment here. What did you think of this?
I think they used it a little bit ago, but I like the interview point. I literally just wrote "damn okay" because I knew you were going to cover it, and it really. There were a few moments, like you said, I was just like, "Damn!" Like there were some lines in there that I was like, "Okay," like it is true. AJ Lee was a trailblazer. Like I remember thinking back, she wanted to bury that Divas belt. I remember her retiring like out of nowhere at a young age. So she definitely walked so a lot of these other women could run, or she skipped so a lot of these other women could run. Sorry, bad joke of the night,
It's literally true.
but yeah, no,
It's
I
true.
definitely I could still see AJ winning this and staying around for a little bit. Like she's not a bad age. She's 5 years younger than Asuka. She's probably only a couple years older than Becky. She's still in her like she doesn't look like she's aged. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
a little in
mean,
the face, but
a little bit, but for a 10-year difference, I mean, she looks great.
yeah,
Absolutely.
still got abs. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, she's kept herself in shape. She trained a bunch before she even came back.
And hell,
Um,
Natalia. I'm thinking of like everybody still wrestling when she was around. Natalia, and
Nikki
obviously
Bella.
now the Bella twins came back. So
Yeah,
there
yep.
really aren't too many others that have stayed. Asuka was probably in developmental at the same
Yeah,
time. So
they were Asuka, Charlotte, Nia Jax. They were all in NXT.
right. So she was
Yeah,
just kind of which is crazy. She was younger or same age as a few of them, but they liked her move set and I guess whatever she was doing at the time.
Absolutely. We won't talk about much about this, but Bailey defeats Lash Legends. There was a lot of interference. We see Charlotte and Alexa come out, um, but Lyra helps Bailey get the win by holding Lash Legends' leg, so Lash can't kick out. So Bailey gets the pin. Maybe possible momentum there, but there's a specific point I wanted to hit. Um, Michael Cole made mention to it that Nikki Bella is apparently rehabbing her ankle, an ankle injury, and is hoping to be ready in time for WrestleMania. So again, another match kind of jeopardized a little bit due to the fact of injury. If Nikki can't go, maybe they'll have another tag team, jump in there. We'll have to see what happens there, or maybe that just becomes a triple threat. So we got to keep an eye on that.
I think it should be a triple threat. I don't know what the Bellas are doing in there regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt like this match was kind of set up for the Bellas to possibly win, so they can have one last run. Um, but we'll have to see. There's a lot of wrestlers left off of WrestleMania. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes. But for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That will help us out. Share it with your friends that you know of that watches wrestling. We have a lot of big things coming up in the next 2 weeks. We're approaching the peak of our busy season. We just hit our 6th anniversary, so it's a very exciting time. So, um, coming up, so we got the Rollins promo. Seth Rollins cutting a promo last night on Raw. What did you think of that?
Um, yeah, no, there's a few things I obviously, like I say, I always expect them to say a lot of filler nonsense. But he was also kind of true. He said, "We don't really have a past. How do you get here unless you entered some business relationships with Paul Heyman?" So I've got two missions: one to take back the championship that I never lost, my World Heavyweight Championship, and second is to kill the Vision. So I already two guys are on the shelf. The other two idiots are taking on the Usos, and they'll probably get messed up after that. And yeah, Brock is on a silver platter for Obafemi. Loved that. So he goes, Gunther, if your intention and purpose is to be a shield for Paul, then it might be business for you, but it's very personal for me. So love that. And then as soon as it becomes personal, he's starting to talk a little bit more. And you hear the cheering, which is starting to annoy me a little bit more because you know something's happening.
Yep.
But Gunther is just way too slow into the ring for it to be a surprise. Gunther comes in, and yeah, they wreak a little havoc.
Yeah. So we get a little bit of a brawl there, and then we see, and not too far after that, we see Gunther backstage with Paul Heyman.
Hmm.
And Paul says, I don't know why you did what you did, but Paul says, I owe you a big thank you. And then Gunther says to him, no, you owe me so much more than a big thank you. So this possible right here is going to be a setup, I think, for Gunther versus Lesnar at SummerSlam. That Gunther's like, you owe me more than a big thank you. So Gunther's gonna expect some kind of favor back, and I
Hmm.
believe this is gonna be what gets us to Gunther versus Lesnar. Maybe at Backlash. Who knows? But possibly, I would say you would probably ideally do that match at SummerSlam in Minnesota, which is gonna be in Lesnar's home state.
True.
So I believe that this is the build for that.
I like it.
How
I can
long
see
they
it.
drag Gunther versus Seth after WrestleMania, I honestly couldn't tell you. but this seems like it could be a one-off.
Yeah.
Because I think what we're going to get during the Gunther versus Seth Rollins match is Gunther's going to win, but I believe as a result of interference by somebody. And of course, he's going to come out in a black hoodie.
Yes.
Braun Breaker, I think, is coming back at WrestleMania to set up a feud. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and then Gunther will go his own little way. A little, story in and out storyline with Paul Heyman about the favor, and I think that's gonna lead to Brock Lesnar, and Seth and Braun Breaker are gonna carry on with the basically. Seth and Braun Breaker are gonna be back on a timeline that they should have been originally, so they're gonna get back to the timeline. So. But how we got there was just crazy these past couple months with Braun Breaker's injury. But the plan all along was Seth versus Braun Breaker at Mania or just after Mania. So it looks like we're going to line up.
Yeah, that would make sense for him to come out and then set up something for Backlash if he is healthy enough. But I guess we shall see.
This was the match of the night. The Los Americanos versus Javon. Los Americanos versus Javon, Penta, and Dragon Lee. Javon wins with the OG cutter on Bravo Americano. That was a big one off the top rope. Probably my favorite OG cutter yet. This was a really good match. This is the best match of the night. Best match. This was like an indie style match too, which we don't really see too often. It's not like overdone, but we had a great match between those guys. But Rey Mysterio's music hits.
Mm.
So finally, and I guess, we thought we were probably going to see Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, but then with Rey Mysterio being out and then Seth Rollins being out, but finally comes back but doesn't have an opponent, it made sense to have Seth versus Gunther. Rey Mysterio just got cleared, and much mutual respect between Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Penta. So we see that Rey says that the match that you guys are in, this ladder match, is missing one person, and it's missing Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio inserts himself into the match, or should I say invites himself into the match, and Penta says, let's make history. So later on that got confirmed. I think this match is going to steal the show, quite possibly, from a wrestling standpoint. What do you think?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like there's a bunch of high flyers in this one, and there's even room next week to add more people. Screw it. Why not? But I guess we'll see if we stay at 6. It's probably the move that they're going to go with anyways.
I think 6 is fine.
Yeah, especially with all the high flyers and everything that can go on.
Yeah, guaranteed Javon Evans is going to go nuts. He's going to be doing an OG cutter off the top of a ladder.
He's going to do that like, I can't remember who did it, but they looked down, did a little shrug, and then just jumped and went for it. Can't remember who that was, but I feel like he'll do that. He'll be standing on the ladder and just like look down, see somebody standing there a little wobbled, and just shrug and then jump off and go for it.
So that ladder match is going to be awesome. Can't wait to see. So there's a little something interesting here. I don't know if you noticed on Raw. Yeah. So this is what we're going to talk about next. I don't know if you noticed this on Raw, but you know how Triple H loves to drop little Easter egg hints, in the background during the middle of promos and stuff like that. Okay. So we see Rhea and Io hanging backstage. They're getting ready to come out, which we're going to talk about in a second. But then we see in the background, in the far background, Austin Theory talking with Maxine.
Again. I didn't see
Again,
that. I didn't see that.
could
Ooh.
Maxine be joining the Vision at some point? Maybe coming out to help out Theory and Logan Paul. Could we be getting a heel turn here?
I could see a chick Vision, but at the end of the day, how do we get a chick Vision? Because there aren't.
Not a chick Vision. Just be added to the Vision.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I guess young up and comer who's been a champion but gets forgotten, much like Austin Theory, much like Logan Paul. Now that I think about it, they've both held the belt. All three of them have held the belt. They're young up and comers that have been forgotten about. You know what? Fuck yeah, put Maxine on the Vision. I don't care. Give her
So
anything to do.
we see Rio and Io versus BFAB and Michin. Io hits the suicide dive tonight. She actually did it the right way. She did. She didn't almost break her neck like she did last week.
Oi.
I didn't see videos of that until like a day or two after we did the podcast last week. But then we see Jade interfering and taking out Rhea. Io ends up pinning BFAB for the win, so she gets the win for her and Rhea Ripley. But then Io gets jumped. Michin and BFAB are holding Rhea Ripley in the corner. With Rhea's arms tangled against the ropes, they're holding her back. While Rhea has to watch, Jade is attacking Io with the kendo stick and puts the Jaded on Io, and that's how that segment ends. Jade Cargill standing tall. Rhea Ripley holding Io in her arms. So, honestly, I gotta be real honest with you. I cannot wait till Jade Cargill loses this belt. She cannot be champion after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Cannot. And WWE, they got to do something about getting some female talent up into the SmackDown roster too as well.
Yeah, it might be time to do that.
Tag team division's doing pretty good, but now you need to get some people in the singles. I really want to talk about this, but let's make sure we hit on one more segment left. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar next. And then we pretty much hit everything. So, Brock Lesnar, Obafemi contract signing.
Yes.
We know that contract signings never end very well, do they?
Not in the least, no.
And it's contract signings are just used for another way to build up hype for the matches and stuff like that. This has been a go-to in WWE for many years, and even AEW has done it. But there's no contract signing in WWE. Rarely do when wrestlers don't get into a fight.
That is true. Very true.
So Triple H comes out first with Adam Pearce as Adam Pearce is promoting the match. Paul Heyman interrupts. Oba gets a massive crowd reaction. And he also says Paul is one ruler. Let me see. How did I notate this? He says Paul is one ruler that can't measure up to a real man. Paul says that Brock is one. That Obafemi is one ruler that can't measure up to the real main event of WrestleMania, referring to Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Obafemi come to the ring. Lesnar attacks Oba as he enters the ring, and that leads to a brawl. You see Lesnar throw a chair at Oba. Oba throws the chair back. Security everywhere. Do you think this was the right call? Do you think at some point Lesnar needs to get at least one up on Obafemi before WrestleMania?
Nah, no reason.
None.
I don't see that there's really a I don't want to say a build for it, but I just don't see a reason for it.
Okay.
I think, like you said, protect Oba until they get into the ring. But like, there's just no need to get an F5 off or something.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, at any cost, I mean, you can have Lesnar do his F5 on Oba at WrestleMania, and then Oba kicks out.
Hmm.
You can do something like that, but we know that Oba is in a must-win situation here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's got to win here. It would not be good if that comes up. So there are a couple talking points that I wanted to talk about here. We already covered CM Punk's promo earlier, so if you guys missed that, make sure you guys go back to the beginning. The WrestleMania card announcement. Let's talk about that. So, night one, we have Cody Rhodes versus Orton for the WWE Championship. Do you think that this is a good call by WWE to have your WWE Championship, your main title, as night one main event and not night two as the very last match of all of WrestleMania?
I guess so. I think that's probably the. Yeah, I'd say so.
Because here's the reason. Because even though Roman and Punk, yes, they're two slightly bigger names, maybe arguably, two of the bigger names in this, but they're also kind of like the world title is just that belt was honestly just created because Roman Reigns was never defending the WWE Championship. But that WWE Championship is the main gold in WWE. For somebody who's been watching WWE for so many years, the WWE Championship is the main belt. Like, there's just no way, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So, for that not to be the main match to close out all of WrestleMania, it just doesn't really sit well with me.
Yeah, I get you. I agree. That makes sense.
Also, the better of the two, the women's match, Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan, which, hopefully those rumors aren't true about Liv Morgan possibly having a concussion. That's going on night one as well, which in my opinion was the better. We're getting AJ Lee Intercontinental title match. Night one, Rollins versus Gunther. Night one, we're also getting Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match on night one, along with Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, and the 6-man tag team match, all on night one. Night two, we have Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. We got Jade Cargill versus Rhea, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the U.S. Championship, Finn Balor versus Dominic, and then Intercontinental ladder match. 6 matches. I believe one more match is at least is going to be added to that. I would say the women's title match between Julia and Tiffany Stratton. How Tiffany Stratton does not have a match at WrestleMania yet is beyond me. Tiffany Stratton should have been the person to be going against Jade Cargill, as it felt the most natural She never got her win back from Jade Cargill. She was squashed within less than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She never got her rematch. It made the most sense to have Jade Cargill go against Jade Cargill go against Tiffany Stratton, and then have Rhea Ripley do something else. Possibly turn on Io, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens down the road.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
So, but I just feel like they pulled Rhea Ripley out of thin air, out of nowhere. And obviously, the only way to do it was to have her win, like, was it the Chamber she won or the Royal Rumble? I'm almost forgetting now.
Chamber.
So yeah, she wins the Chamber. So yeah, so that means that's the way that you get her, into the to face Jade. But at the same time, like storyline wise, it made the most sense to have Tiffany Stratton in there, for sure. So as of now, Tiffany Stratton's not on the card. We have Carmelo
Wait,
Hayes.
no, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble,
Yep. And then
so
Rhea won.
Rhea won Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
I'm too tired.
Sami Zayn, winner of the United States Championship 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
is defending against Trick Williams because Trick Williams was already dubbed, was already kind of like, had a match waiting for him.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
Carmelo Hayes is also, as of this second, snubbed from WrestleMania. That could change on Friday. I think he's going to insert himself in, and then we get a triple threat. Solo Sikoa, he's been on the main roster since WrestleMania 39, but once again, not on the card for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, very, very interesting. Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov was the biggest part of SmackDown over the last 9 months, defending that U.S. title week in and week out, and does not have a match at WrestleMania. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, I guess, did Damian Priest and R-Truth get anything or no?
They have no match at Mania yet.
All right, so that might also happen on Friday.
That's probably going to happen on Friday.
Okay.
I feel like one more match is going to get added tonight too. I don't know which one that's going to be yet. So quite possibly that will be. But we'll see Priest and Truth on the Friday for sure. So.
And then there's always the Royal Rumble. They're not sorry, I say Royal Rumble. There's always a battle royal of some.
Yeah, I don't even know if they did Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last year. I think so. Yeah, I think they did. So yeah, you gotta believe that whoever's not on the card for WrestleMania main card is gonna get an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which they'll most likely do on SmackDown, and I would think they'll announce that on Friday night as well.
Oh, and wait. Oh, they did that last year on SmackDown. They didn't even do that on
Yep, they did on SmackDown. Yep, but
Gross.
They dubbed it as WrestleMania SmackDown just to kind of make it sound better than what it was.
Gross.
Yeah, because it was in the same city. It was in the T-Mobile Arena, across the street from Allegiant Stadium. So they're there. They're in the same city as WrestleMania. So that's why they kind of dubbed it WrestleMania SmackDown. So.
They should have done now this year. What they should do with the first hour on TV for free is put a Raw and a SmackDown Andre the Giant and have it that way instead. Because you can get everybody that got dubbed. You get your Otis and your Tozawas out there. You get your Motor City Machine Guns, your Ilya Dragunov, your El Grande Americano, which apparently doesn't have the mask.
Omos.
The mask versus mask. Right, you get Omos in there.
Oh, that's another thing. Like, they're still even talking about it with the Americanos, El Grande Americano, and then OG El Grande Americano, Chad Gable.
Hmm.
Like it seems like for a while that we were leading up to the Americanos facing off in like quite possibly a mask versus mask, and WWE did not go in that direction.
Apparently, they're very huge in AAA, both of them. So I guess they want to ride that for a little bit.
Yes, they are big in AAA, and believe it or not, El Grande Americano Ludwig Kaiser is he's kind of over there. He's like a baby. He's almost like a baby face there, but then a heel up here.
Hmm.
So, but at some point, maybe they're saving that for Backlash or something. Um, who knows? But I honestly thought we were gonna get that from Mania. But how are your Yankees doing?
Well, they won in the ninth.
Oh, figures. Oh, I know Oakland A's had a 3-1 lead over them through 6 innings. So
Yeah, I think bottom of the eighth, they got three straight hits to take two. I think they were down 3-2 at that point, and then runners on first and second. Rosario hit his second home run of the night to take a 5-3 lead, and then 1-2-3 inning in the ninth.
alrighty. So for those of you guys that are watching, just a little bit of a scheduling update. Overall, we're gonna have a bunch of content coming at you guys over the next few days. Our top five Friday from a few days ago got 2,700 views, nearly 2,800 views to our channel, which was very awesome. Um, but we have a lot of content coming to you guys this week. Every night around this time, there will be a video out of especially highlights from this podcast. Those of you guys that are listening on the audio on the podcast itself, make sure you guys visit our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. That will help us out because you guys are gonna get a lot more content through the YouTube than you will on the audio for podcast, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. You're gonna get a lot more content on the YouTube. Scheduling wise, um, we will do a Raw post show. Um, TBD for now. Um, as I will be traveling to Vegas early in the morning, Wednesday morning. So I just don't know what the dynamic of that is going to look like as far as that schedule goes. We will do a prediction show for WrestleMania. That's going to come at you live from Vegas. That's going to happen. More than likely, we will do not one but two WrestleMania post shows live from Vegas next week. WrestleMania by me starts at 3 p.m. Pacific time when I'm there on the East Coast over here. It'll be on at 6. Should be over by 10 p.m. at the latest. 7 matches each night is basically screaming about 4 hours each night. About 4. They're gonna try to stay under the 4 hour mark.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So we got that. And then the week after, the post show will be live at some point from Vegas. And I'm talking about the Mania, the Raw after Mania. So just keep your ears open. We'll have announcements coming for you guys. But definitely prediction show next week for sure. And then our post shows. So we're literally about 2 or 3 shows away from doing a WrestleMania post show. We are that close to WrestleMania. And I can't believe we're basically inside 10 days away from WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Unbelievable. Like, this came so quick. I felt like it was just yesterday we were talking and it was 10 weeks away.
Yeah,
I
no
felt like
question.
we were just sitting here.
I feel like we were just talking about Royal Rumble.
But, Brandon, aka Bash, do
Hmm.
you have any last minute thoughts to close out our show?
Um, no, not really. Last night was pretty underwhelming as a Raw. I will say I do hope that they go back to Houston, and I hope that they put on a much better show for Houston because Michael Cole made a reference a few times that it was loud in that place, and there were no good wrestling matches tonight. I'm sorry. I think you got lucky for the VPN. You got an extra like 3 minutes worth of a few of the matches, but it was boring.
Yeah, I mean, I can see your point because you know what they were really emphasized on building up like the undercard and the mid card last night.
Hmm.
Um, SmackDown, in my opinion, I was telling Joe this. He's usually one of our pay per view analysts that he feels that the Roman Reigns Punk feud is better than the Cody Randy, but I feel like the Cody Randy has a lot more history, a lot more substance to it. Both Cody and Randy are always there every week. There's different dynamics. Now you have the Pat McAfee, um, you know, saga going on where Pat McAfee out of nowhere kicks Cody Rhodes, giving him a low blow. Um, so a lot of people are scratching their heads with that. So I'm but because we got Pat McAfee out there, we were able to get some good promos from Cody on Pat McAfee, and then a good promo from Cmpunk ripping on Pat McAfee. So, I want to see how the story plays out. Maybe we get Jelly Roll involved, and maybe he turns on Cody and joins Pat McAfee and Randy Orton. We don't know how this is going to play out. So we'll see, but I feel like the Cody Randy story has a little bit more substance than Roman Punk. But that's just my opinion. But I do feel like SmackDowns in general kind of have been the in some ways the better show, and as far as wrestling too. So, but anyway, to those of you guys that are watching, that wraps up episode 147, and we are kicking off season 7 very, very shortly, next weekend rather. In fact, like, we're having such a good year in 2026 that we've already surpassed our total combined 2025 views in just the first 3.5 months of 2026.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're having a really, really good year. WrestleMania next weekend is going to start season 7 for us. So excited about that. And a lot of good things coming. So, Brandon, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I feel like Tuesdays are going to probably be the new norm, as it appears to be a little bit of an easier night for us.
Yeah, I mean I still gotta wake up early in the morning, but to be able to get on at 10 instead of 10:45, the earliest, to normally 11:05. Yeah, this is definitely a lot easier for me.
Definitely a lot easier for sure. But those of you guys that are watching, we definitely had some traffic on this video. Thank you so much for hopping on. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, and we will be back with you guys very soon. But stay on the lookout as we post videos each and every single night around 10, 11 o'clock. Highlights of this week's YouTube video. And thank you so much for hopping on, and we will catch you guys later.
Agility from the champion. Uh-oh!